Good morning, Cougars. In this video, we're going to talk about our budgeting assignment that we're going to be doing and learn how to use numbers. So this may or may not be a refresher for some of you, but I bet most of you have never taken a class on how to use numbers. So let's go through and take a look. So first off, this is just an overview of kind of where we're going, and then we'll go in step by step how to build this. So we're going to be building two things. We're going to be building an expense tracker where if you buy something, I keep using coffee, but if you buy something, how much it costs, and just track how much money you're spending. Because you are a student living at home, you can ask, if you go to the grocery store, your parents for your family, you can ask for those receipts and try to copy that down. You can also go to Walmart and Google up the prices and kind of work backwards. However, make sure that you think about the taxes, because so if you look up something online that's $1.99, that's not how much it's actually going to cost. It's going to cost the tax amount. So try to include the tax as much as possible. And we're going to track our expenses over the next week. Okay. You should, if you're really going to do it honest budget, you should do it probably for a month or longer, but we're going to do it for a week. So you're going to track expenses until next Friday. Okay. We'll set this up in just a minute. Then we're going to work on building a budget. So I've got some sections here, and then I've also got, and we're going to plan how much money we're going to spend. Then over here, I actually have an account ledger where we're going to actually go, this is how much money I made. This is how much money is in my account. And now I'm going to start spending that money. This side over here should look kind of like what you would look at online. Now, there are many apps for your phone, different things that will do some of this for you, but I think it's important to just get into numbers and kind of build it yourself. And we're going to, because you can customize how you look at it, how you think about it, that kind of a thing. So, and it's free. So let's build this. So let's start at the beginning. You're going to go to Sheets in your thing. If you're doing this on your personal Google account, you may actually have to go down and look more from Google Workspace or Marketplace, and you may have to go look for Sheets there because it's not always a default. Okay, but I have Google Sheets, and I'm going to click on that. You can use Sheets on your phone. I do all the time, but we're going to do it on our laptop. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to click blank. Now, there are plenty of templates that you can use. You can find many more to download. The nice thing about a template is a lot of the formulas, a lot of the stuff is like, here's an expense report. A lot of it's kind of pre-built for you, but always when I use a template, there's always something that doesn't fit what I need. And then I'm having to redo the whole thing. And I just almost prefer doing it from scratch. Now, it may not look as fancy, but it does the job. And that's what we care about, at least for this assignment. So I'm going to click on blank. And now I've got my Excel is the Microsoft version of this. But if you click up here in the left corner, you can resize the boxes for the entire spreadsheet. And you can do some resizing like that. You can click on a single column and resize just the column. You can click on the column, see the hand tool. If you see the hand tool, you can move things around. So we don't have anything written in here, so you may not see it, but I can move things around, whole columns. Okay. Same with rows. So I can, if we got the hand, I can move it. I can also click on the individual cell. If I got the hand, I can move it around. First thing we're going to do is let's build our expense tracker. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name this as my name. Put your name. expense tracker and budget. Down here, we're going to title this expense tracker. And then if you hit this plus sign, you can create a second sheet. We're going to title this one budget. Now you can also click the down arrow. You can click the down arrow and you can duplicate. So like some of the things we're going to be doing look exactly the same. So you could build it and then duplicate and then rename. You can do that as well. Okay, but we're not going to do that, partly for practice. So first thing is with expensive, we probably care about the date, because I can also go online and pull the dates. This is a bigger deal when you're have bills that have a due date and all kinds of things. So, but date is always a good one to put on there. Item, whatever it is, or purchase, and amount. Now, the next part, you can do category, which we might get into later, or you can leave that blank for now. Date is really simple. You can put in the February 3, but if you do that, it will remember it. So if you now go in and put 1/15/2022, okay, notice that it kept the format of what we had originally put. But if I do it here, now if I go back and change this one to February 2, it will keep the format that I had originally put in. So pick whichever format you want to use. I prefer using the number format, and I usually, so we need to change that. So let's go to format and we can do number, and let's find the date, and we're going to do date. Now, I personally usually don't put the year, okay, but that's fine because it's automatic. Okay, item. So let's say we bought some coffee, whatever it is, and it was 207. It's great. Okay, and then we can just put the amount of the next thing. And if you can put where you got it, McDonald's 1238, and you can track your expenses. Okay, so this is just an expense tracker. We're tracking how much money we're spending and on what. Later on, we will categorize these things. Category. Okay, and we can say this is for food, this is for food, this was for going out to the movies, that was entertainment. We're going to categorize those things, and then we can actually use that to help us build our budget. So we're going to build our budget next. So we're going to have a date, item, and amount, but we're also going to have a total. This is where we're going to get into some formula stuff. Okay, and then we're actually going to do a expense tracker. So here, let's do this. Let's insert a row. So I click over here and I right click or 2-finger tap on your trackpad, and I'm going to insert one row above. And I'm actually going to select these cells, and I'm going to, let's see, format, merge cells. I'm going to merge those cells, and I'm going to title this budget. Okay, and over here, I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, format, merge cells, merge all, and title this one. Okay, and this one's also going to have a date. Now, what we're going to notice as we do this, so date, we may leave blank for now. So first we're going to start with housing items. So housing, okay, that's kind of a category we're going to do. So this might include rent or mortgage if you're buying. HOA, if you got to pay dues because you're in like a gated community. Renters insurance, or renters or home insurance. Okay, Now notice this one overlaps over here. So if we start entering other things, it'll get cut off. So what we can do is go back up to the B and then expand that out. You can also do wrap text, which will wrap it around. I'm going to try not to do that right now, but if you do go up here and you can select text wrapping, and you can have it automatically wrap to the next thing like that. So you can keep your columns nice and short. Okay. And we're going to try not to do that. So I'm going to turn that off actually. Okay. So now let's put an amount. So let's pretend that our rent is $1,300 a month. Okay. Our total, we're going to put an equal sign to, we're going to do some math here. So equals, and we're going to click on the number, the box that I just entered, and it will copy. So if I change my rent, so I find a different place that I'm looking for, and it's 1,200, it'll automatically change there. Okay. Now I got you with the formula is now I can actually drag this, put my mouse and see the little plus sign. I can drag that box all the way down and it'll copy the formula so that, let's do this again. Okay. Okay. 100. So it's copying that formula. Okay. If I, here, let's delete that again and show you again. If I drag, click and drag, it'll copy whatever that formula is. These are blank, so there's nothing to put in. Now, we actually want a total and not a copy of what was over here. So what we're going to do here in this box is we're going to go equals. We're going to select the box above and go plus and select the box to the right. So it's going to, and if you'll notice, it highlights which cells are being added together or used in the equation. So you can pick multiple cells all over the place and it'll highlight it. And those colors will match the colors of the letters on here. Okay, now, and then now I can copy that down and now it's doing a running total of everything. Okay. So let's look at my guide here. We got HOA, home renter, insurance. Okay, utilities. So we're going to kind of skip a line. And if you ever need to add something, you can always, so let's say we did utilities here. Utilities. And I didn't like that. Let's do water, electric, gas, trash. Okay, let's say I wanted some spacing to make it readable. So I actually go over here and I'm going to right click and insert one row above. I could do below, but notice that that breaks my formula and it will mess it up. So I will have to come back up here and re-drag it all the way down and it'll refix it. Okay. All right. So utilities, let's say water is 75, electric is 150, gas is 30, and trash is 10. Okay. So just to live in that apartment or house, this is how much it's costed me so far. Okay. So kind of see what we're doing. And then we're going to do that for all these other items here. Okay. Now let's go back over here and let's talk. I'm going to let you build that here in a minute, but let's talk about an actual ledger and keep. So this is for planning. This is for thinking for the future. There is a section in here. There is a section in here for entertainment. Maybe I've got Netflix and I'm trying to decide if I can afford Disney Plus. And I'm like, oh, nope, can't afford it. Okay, so I'm not going to get it. But that's what this is for. This is for planning. Now, the secret to a budget is if you actually live on a budget, then you can actually start doing things like investing and doing purposeful things with your money to help you make money. Okay, but part of this is also just keeping track of your expenses. And you might be like, well, why do I have to? Because my bank does that. Well, part of that is banks aren't always 100%. You spent some money and it automatically tracks that you did it. Part of it is the act of writing it down tells you that how much money you're spending. And I think especially if you're on your own, you're using your own money, anybody who ever does this is always surprised by how much they spend and where they spend it. So anyway, that's more what the expense tracker is, but this is more of, I'm getting my paycheck. So let's do that. So January 1st, let's pretend we got a paycheck and this is my paycheck. I got paid. Let's say we're working hourly. I got paid 800. So my total is 800. Wow, that's not enough to pay the rent. Okay, so we might have a problem. But let's say I get paid every 2 weeks. So let's say I pay the electric bill. Let's do this. 1/1/22 and electric bill. Over here, we said it was 150. So let's say 150. And now this is where I do it kind of weird, but you can do select the box above. This is a subtraction, so you could click subtract. Okay, this is what I actually do, and it automatically subtracts it. Now, that's probably not the best way to do it, honestly. What you should probably actually do is do a plus, but then make this be a negative. So this is a positive for your balance. This is a negative for your balance. Okay, and these are just numbers, so let's change it to dollars. So we're going to highlight the column, both columns actually. We're going to go over here and we're going to select the dollar sign. And now it's in dollars. We can actually change the format to a accounting type of ledger system. And you'll notice that this is the debit. This is the, we're getting rid of funds there. So you can also do that as well. And a lot of it is whatever you do, just do it the same way every time so that you don't confuse yourself, because you don't want to think you have more money than you actually do. That would be bad. Okay, so then I don't pay any bills. Let's say okay, let's actually be realistic. I got to pay food. I buy some groceries and I spend 200 on groceries. So minus 200. But then I get paid on the 14th. So I'm gonna go back up here, grab the little plus, drag it down. And what you'll see is, oh, well, now I can pay my rent. So I'm gonna pay my rent. Okay. So this is why you actually need to do a ledger, partly because, especially as working an hourly job, is you need to keep track of which bill am I going to pay when. Okay. And this over here will help you know that I've got to do something because I'm paying, I've got too many things I'm paying and I don't have enough money coming in. Okay. All righty. So there's a lot we can unpack here, but right now what you need to do is you need to just go in and build. Okay. Now, if you have a job, this is going to be a lot more meaningful. If you have your own expenses, this is more meaningful. If you are, your parents are doing all of this, ask them, sit down with them, ask them to show you what they do. But you can also go online and find all of these things for, okay, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go live on my own. Well, how much is my rent going to be? Well, I'm going to roommate with somebody and I'm going to split the rent because it was 1,200. I'm going to split halvesies with somebody. I'm only going to pay 600. Okay. What is the electric bill? Some of these you can just Google and find online what's the average electric bill in San Diego. Part of it depends on how big of an apartment and family and how much you use it. Some apartments, water, trash, and gas are included. Are you having to pay for a car? If you're not making a car payment, okay, and you're using Uber, you should include how much are you paying on Uber every month? How much are you paying for a bus pass? Okay, how much is your car insurance? Okay, Now, car repair. In a perfect world, you should budget for car repairs. Like as in, I'm going to put $5 in the savings account every month. Then at the end of the month, I'll have $60 to do the oil change and all that kind of stuff. Or I'm going to put $30 a month aside for that. That's the dream. That's what you want to be able to do, is put a little bit aside every month so that you can budget and be prepared for any emergency. Okay. Food, groceries versus eating out, entertainment, buying video games, subscriptions to Netflix, Disney Plus, going out, books, anything that you do for fun, that should go there. Okay. Do you have a credit card? How much do you have to pay every month? Do you have any investments? How much are you investing? And do you give to a charity of some kind? How much are you giving? Okay. So how much, where are you spending your money? All that stuff. Most important thing is get this built and start tracking your expenses. All right. If you have any questions, please email me and I will see you in the next video.